Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast.
Good morning, good morning. This is Tuesday. Transformation Tuesday is all about getting and having and being change for the better of yourself. And keep in mind that when you change yourself, it's all about your doing your best, doing the best. We're going to be talking about today Motivational Monday and Transformation Tuesday. But let's keep you up to par with today. Today is all about learning from the healing that you hopefully want to do. And we're going to take into consideration how we go about helping you just to do what you do best. And that is to heal parts of yourself. When we think about healing, recovery, challenges, these are layers to ourselves. How many of you knew that? Having layers to yourself and knowing that there's just not one part of you, but there are other moving parts of yourself. And I want you to think of yourself as a machine, if you will, being that you are fragile, you are moving, you are capable of doing something. And you're going to come to understand and to know what those moving parts of yourself are. And I want you to think about your feelings. Your moving parts come with feelings. Good morning, Trish. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, and good morning.
And we're going to start with feelings first. Feelings, we all have them. And we're going to talk about this part of Transformation Tuesday is all about moving parts. Trish and I have decided to bring you both Tuesday and Monday. So we want you to call in. Our direct connect is 661 795 0475. Our 800 number is, Trish, can you tell them, please?
Our 1-800 number is 1-888-721-9260.
Okay, and today is all about Transformation Tuesday, your moving parts. We're going to think about ourselves. How many of you are familiar with using machines? Maybe us men and women have used machines, appliances around the house, blenders, vacuums, lawnmowers, tools. And today we're going to think about your feelings And here's a project. I want you to think about your tools that your layers have, feelings. I want you to draw that as the tool of what it looks like to you. The tool of what it looks like to you. Feelings. Because some of you already know that you already have tools. Everyone has a toolbox to them. Tool. So if you were to draw your feelings, what kind of tool would that look like? And you can create it. Let me give you an illustration. If you feel like you were always beaten up on, or you feel beat up, what comes to my mind would be a hammer. Your emotions, they would look like, and I'm just giving you examples for your own creation. Your emotions, are they tied up in a bottle? Or are they in a bubble and you can't get them out? Or do they feel like they're out of control? Recovery to start you on the path to helping your layers, getting to know the layers of you, welling those layers of you. What is your recovery? Does it look like a bed that you're resting in? A peaceful place? What is your challenging yourself? Does that look like a setting of barbells, and you might be stringing with them as you draw your picture of what that looks like for yourself? This is very important, guys. Very, very important. Healing. Does that look like a Band-Aid with maybe a bottle of medicine, or talking motivation? Maybe that might look like feet to you. Transformation. Changing, what would that look like? Does everybody understand? And you can do these assignments or not do them. Whatever you feel is your choice. Whatever you feel is going to be your choice and your only. When we come into Vibe Talk, we understand that we are all about getting connected to oneself. Why do I say this? Because everybody wants to be connected to something or another. Connection to your pets, connection to your family, connected to your significant other, connected to work, school, whatever it is, we want a connection. So today, we're going to talk about Transformation Tuesday as if we are machines. And we are. We know that at times machines need to be checked on. By the way, I'm proud of myself because yesterday I took my machine to the doctor to get that checkup. We need to see how we're doing. We need to understand the layers of ourselves. There's just not one part of us. Aren't you more intricate than one part, one layer? You're not simple. You know, we say the words, it's complicated, without really knowing what that entails. So let's put you there. You are that machine. And all of you may be okay. You may be okay. You may feel okay. I may feel okay. Trish may feel okay. But deep down in my layers, there might be something that I'm not quite feeling okay about. Let's take it from the top. Remember when I said that thing about feelings? Your feelings and my feelings may vary from time to time. For instance, I might say, you know, I'm feeling kind of low today. And then you say, I'm feeling excited. Well, between low and excited, isn't the question we should be asking ourselves why? You're going to figure it out when we are done in the next 20 minutes with this portion of Vibe Talk. Yes, it will be 30 minutes for each session, and Trish will come in with her segment. Feelings. That's one layer to you and I. Let's get deep. Let's go deep. Feelings. What are they? When I say, how do you feel? You give me how you feel, right? I say we're all about feelings, right? And Transformation Tuesday is about our layers. Feelings. We've talked about this. And it is an emotional state or reaction. How do you feel? People say, well, when it comes to my feelings, I don't know how I feel. And I want you to know something. When you say you don't know how you feel, it's like taking your tools that you're going to use for whatever reason. If you don't know how to use it, what do you do, Trish? If you don't know how to use something. Can you hear me okay?
Sorry, you cut in and out. Can you say that again?
If you don't know how to use a tool, what is your next step? And I hope everybody can hear me. You can join us live here. We are live.
If I don't know how to use the tool, I read the manual.
Yes. Are we reading our manuals? You say, well, Miss Nisi, what manual? The manual to your machine. Think about your feelings. They're not the same as emotions, but they are your reactions. How you react, respond. Feelings. Different types of feelings. We learn about that. Can we name some of the feelings that we've had? I'd like you to do that as you're thinking about your feelings and using it as a tool, what that looks like. By the way, my feeling may look like a hammer. Why? Because we use hammers to nail things. Sometimes hammers are used to get things in or even to beat that nail. What's your feelings if you were to draw it, Trish? A feeling as a tool.
Um, I would for feelings. I would have one of those games where it's like a memory game with the colors around it. Like I'll have those because colors, they symbolize emotions, and the memory game is whatever color you choose, you have to remember the order of it. So I would choose that for my feelings.
Okay. So there are many types of feelings: anger, fear, happiness, surprise, disgust, contempt. We have all of them. But did you know for the feelings, we think about them in layers? In our layers of life, as we are layered with feelings, there's happiness, sadness, fear, anger, surprise, disgust. And if you want, go ahead and color those in, should you choose to. Moving on, how are feelings different from emotions? Because sometimes we equate that in the same sentence. Feelings differ from emotions. Let's get that first. And how so? We're going to talk about that. Feelings are different from emotions. Well, what is your emotion when you feel something? Don't think too complicated about it, okay? Since we've gone over this. Um, what's your state when you are feeling something? What is your emotion, your mood? If I'm excited, my experience of the emotion is going to be blood rushing. I'm going to feel like I'm on high. I'm going to experience the feeling. Okay? And it's the reaction and the experience. So if I said to you, oh, you're happy today, and you say, yes, I'm very happy, the emotion is the why. What are you experiencing? How do you know that you're happy? Because your emotions, your feelings are telling you that you're happy. And you start to tell me what you're experiencing by this. I'm happy because we have a new member in our family. I'm happy because my Uncle Ted's coming. Or I'm happy because my mom baked my favorite cake. I'm happy because my dad bought me a new car. You see the experience? Are you guys getting that? What is your experience when the layers of you are feeling with the experience that you experience? You ever wake up in the morning and you yawn and you stretch, and then most of us remember today is either a work day or it's the weekend. What is your experience with that, Trish? Let's demonstrate that.
Um, My experience with that. Okay, so my experience with that is joy if it's the weekend.
Okay?
It's yeah, but if it's work today, it's like okay, I don't feel like going, but I'm gonna do it. That's
Yeah.
my experience.
Yeah, you see what she said? Feeling joy because it's the weekend. Feeling, I don't want to go to work, but I got to do it. Because you already know what the experience is going to be. For some of us who work for the weekend, we know that we don't have to go to work, and it brings us joy because we're going to get to do something. Maybe that's going to be happy, maybe that's not, but you no doubt understand the experience. Let's go on, because we're talking about something that I want you to be thinking of: emotions. We went over that. Recovery. Some of you say, well, I don't need to recover because I'm not recovering from anything. Did you know that there's a layer of you that may need to recover strength, mindset, or health? Why is that? Because maybe you have felt bombarded with stress. You have felt somewhat stressed out. How many of you are feeling stressed out? And how many of you have repeatedly felt stressed out? Well, that would be something that you would want to recover from. You want to feel like a big relief to return to what is not stressful anymore. And even if you are not feeling stress, I want you to ask yourself right now, out of three things in life, what has been the most thing that has weighed you down? Sometimes we have so much on our minds that we need to return to the state of recovery, what has seemed to be taking up all our time, our energy, and we melt down as a tool and we're not so useful anymore. How do I mean that? Your tools. You can become so worn down, so worn out, so stressed out that you no longer feel as if you are a useful tool. You know the saying, you're not, or that's not the sharpest tool in the shed? Many of your tools can be resharpened, renewed. How many of you have sharpened a knife? You resharpen that knife because you know that you can get some use out of it. So let's resharpen ourselves and recover to our normalcy, whatever that may mean for you. Being able to regain or having possibility returning or restoring ourselves. How many of you have worried yourself sick? Anybody? Worried yourself sick?
I have.
Yeah. That's where the word sick and tired comes from. So your recovery can look like, I am sick and tired and I want to be well and awake. Or well and woke. Think about that. While recovery for others may mean a state of getting off of the chemical dependency, we don't want to forget that, because when I say recovery to you, many of you will go there and say, oh, we're talking about drug abuse, we're talking about alcohol, we're talking about this, da da da, and so on and so forth. But there is a recovery to our layers of what has not been useful, what we can't use anymore, right? I just got a set of knives and silverware and just got them. One day, those tools are going to not be useful. Are you like that tool? Not useful. I want you to prove yourself in your recovery of returning to your possibilities, your regains, your returns, your restorations. I want you to prove useful. Challenging ourselves. Let's think about that. Challenging ourselves. You know, when I think about challenge, I think about running challenge. And I think about I'm running a race. And I'm running that race and I'm going to challenge myself to win. Right? Sometimes when I'm driving, I see people who are running, jogging, brisk walking, right? What is their goal? To shape, to build up resistance. And I'm going to return to the word shape. Not always about competition. They prove to themselves that they can do it. They have vitality. I remember one summer morning, I was watching someone challenge themselves because you think, the run out here is hot. Why are they running? Many of them are gaining stability. Are you gaining yourself by challenging your layers in life? Being like a runner because you want to win. You don't have to compete against anyone in your challenge of life. You just have to show that you live your life. A challenge is a task. We don't call it problem because it's only a problem if you make it a problem. A challenge is one that you are wanting to prove, test, resilience, excuse me. You want to be able to challenge it as a adaptation to your life. You may need to adapt. You may need to develop skills as to how you are going to make it a personal goal. Many of the runners that I've seen on the mornings that I'm driving, they'll tell you that they're not trying to run for sports events. They're running for just what I've said, and I'll repeat myself, come a little closer, testing their resilience, adapting, strength. They challenge themselves each day. Does it have to be difficult? No. But in order to run that race, what they do is have effort. You see the challenge? Challenge yourself. Put forth the effort. Be determined. See how that works? And finally, wrapping it up, we're going to talk about just doing it. Motivation. And here we are with transformation to see a change in what you do and how you're layered. Don't take yourself as just a simple person, because there's something much deeper than the eye can see. I want you to recognize the value, the validity of yourself. And when you start to recognize all of these steps to the healing process, a runner in the race does not give up, but he runs with stability, with momentum. Maybe not the first time, but his goal is to do that. We've just went over 7 steps. And that's what the Vibe Talk Facing the Lion Healing Center and podcast has been about. You are a useful tool, and there are layers to you. And that's what this podcast is all about. The layers within your tools. The layers within your tools. That's the name of this podcast. We're going to be right back, and we're going to talk about some things we can do to motivate ourselves. We'll be right back. So we're back, and what do we know about ourselves? We know quite a lot. We've learned, if you've been in Vibe Talk for any period of time, you have learned a lot about yourself. We didn't have a Motivation Monday. Trish reminded me that we hadn't done that in a long time. And thank you, Trish, for that reminder. So our motivation is to motivate us to think about things we can do to help those layers of ourselves. I want you to, wherever you are, to think about yourself presently. And while you're thinking about yourself, I'd like for you to breathe in and out. We're focusing on our breathing. What were you thinking about, Trish, as you breathe your moments?
I was thinking about my accomplishments and how I'm feeling and what I'm going to do today. That's what I was thinking about.
Good job. And I was thinking about just taking a moment to breathe. That's actually the moment that I took to be able to breathe in peace. Because I'm always running around. I'm always running around. And I want you guys to realize that when you motivate yourself to sit down and breathe, there's always a benefit to you. And sometimes when we do that, that's our personal space. How many of you ever feel as if you need personal space? Anybody?
I do.
Yeah, we all feel like that, don't we? We all feel that we need personal space. Why is that? Why is it that you and I need to take a moment to think about personal space? Anybody ever thought about that? Trish, what's your thought on that?
For me, I think I just crave personal space in general because I like my independence, and also it gives me time to breathe, reflect, and do what I want to do. It gives me some me time because I spend my time around a lot of people, and that just gives me stability as well when I have time to myself.
Yeah. So would we all agree that we need to think about having moments of time to ourselves, moments to breathe, moments to reflect? How are you doing in regards to your moments? Are you motivated? Just in that time of breathing, I don't know about you, but it felt good to be able to pay attention. And since we were talking about layering or layers of ourselves that we have, if you watch a cake baker, they're very skilled. And we're talking about the professional ones. We're not talking about the home ones, but the people that have the art to do that. You know, we've all had cake in our lives. Literally, people say you had your you can't have your cake and eat it too. Oh, I've had my cake and ate plenty of it. But you get it. The cake that you have just eaten, weddings, you may have gone to a family member's house, they bake a cake. There is steps to that cake. And we are to compare ourselves as delicate as a cake. And so let's take the time to do the cakewalks in that we're gentle with ourselves. And I say cakewalk because when I was a kid, my mom would bake cakes. And I used to always wonder why she would tell me to not walk so hard or don't play around uh, or run through the kitchen because the cake might fall. And I look at it as life now because I understood the delicacy of that, being very delicate that she was making a cake. And many times, if we are not careful, the cake comes out and it can be lopsided. Not that that happened to my mom, but I still think that my mom knows how to make cakes. But we're like that. Let's take a cakewalk through life and being able to treat ourselves gently, motivating ourselves. These are being able to engage in reflection and personal attention. We don't have a lot of time to do this. Let's think about hobbies. How many of us have a hobby? Anybody? Anybody have a hobby?
I do.
What's your hobby?
I have many, but I'm gonna just say about three. um, I like to make music. That's my hobby. I like to watch old cartoons that I used to love as a kid, whether that's Looney Tunes or um, Zoom or Read Between the Lions. That's about me. And another hobby I have is I love to draw. Those are my hobbies.
Yeah. Seeing the time that it took you to tell me that, wouldn't you like to be there doing that right now? Some of us are unmotivated, and this is how. We restrict ourselves because you know what we say? We don't have time for a hobby. If we can just get something done, the day done, we're busy running around. I am a very busy person from Monday to Sunday. And then I started all over again without realizing that I need to be motivated to have something I enjoy. Now, my hobbies are photography. I love photography. I love being able to just sit back and look at pictures. Now I go take the pictures, and that satisfies my mind. I also love to be able to have one night that I'm going to do something special for me. I love movies, but I want to be motivated to do something other than just watch a movie, and there's nothing wrong with that. But there's more parts to me. So I want to get another hobby, something I like. Um, I think that's important. So I want you to ask yourself today, what do you like to do? What are you motivated? What do you enjoy? What gets your curiosity to motivate you? You know, I know people who actually love to build things. And I'm not talking about little things like building houses, boats, building cars. Like, people are so skillful. I want you to think about being motivated to be more skillful. We think about people that we've encountered. And between you and I, we've encountered various people, all shapes, all sizes, various background, beliefs, customs. And if you stick around long enough, you're going to find something out about yourself. I was able to spend some time with an older person. As you know, I love older people because their lives experience. And I honestly met what I thought was a layer of a person. And what do I mean that simple person? When I stepped into the house, unbeknownst to me, that lady was a beautiful artist. And that's why we need to see beyond the person. Be motivated to do that with people. That there are more layers to any one person. And if you haven't been told, like today, there's layers to you. Like we just discussed for Tuesday, transformation. Now we're at Monday, motivation. Think about your motivation. What motivates you is our topic for Monday motivation. Think about yourself. Ask yourself the questions that I just asked the audience. What do you like to do? Some people are great cooks. I was looking at Instagram. This guy is a wonderful cook, single parent. And this guy, wow, the things he could cook. Are there more? Is there much more to be motivated within you? Think about that. Think about that as you are motivated. I want you to be able to not only think to be motivated, but I want you to actually move it into action. What you like, what you don't like. Do you want to act within motivation? Do you want to be able to motivate someone else? Because by your motivation, you can indeed motivate other people. What is your goal in your motivation? Do you have a goal? You know, sometimes we're motivated, we're fueled up. What drives you? You know, Trish talked about what motivates her. I talk about what motivates me. It's the driving force. You know, it's like driving in a car. And we all drive in a car, right? Every time we get in a car, we have a motivation to get to a destination. Even if it's just to drive, you are motivated to do just that. Think about what that means. I want you to think about your desires. I want you to think about what you're striving toward, your purpose, and making your life motivated for living your true self. Living the truth that's in you. Being motivated. A lot of us are not motivated. Sometimes you may feel like, not today. And that's not to criticize anyone, because we all feel that way when we're just not motivated. You ever been motivated just to stay in bed? How many of us have been motivated just to stay in bed?
I have.
And what's the goal? There's always a goal.
The goal is to stay in bed and rest.
And rest, right? So you have a goal to do something. Live your life and motivate yourself. You know, we ask people all the time, what's your motive? Why do you want to come to the healing center? Why do you want to be in the group? And they say, well, I want to get better. They want to hear what others have to say. And that's our motivation. When we are motivated, we can be inspired. When we are motivated, it's engaging. When we're motivated, it improves our lives. And when we're motivated, we're forced to fulfill our goals. But be progressive. Motivation is not to be taken for granted. You know, when we come here years ago, when we started the Vibetalkfacingthelion podcast, we said, motivation, motivation. But really, when I think about the word motivation, it has a goal and a purpose. It has a goal and intended purpose. There's always an incentive. There's always some kind of inner enjoyment. Think about that. When you are motivated, you have curiosity, there's validation, there's your identity, your beliefs about something, and motivation reacts positively. Remember, at the outset of this, I started to talk about the runners that I see. Let's go back and visit them for a moment. What I didn't tell you is that each person, as I saw them running at different times, none of those people had the same goals. And yet, I didn't even tell you if it was a man, a woman, a kid, right? I didn't tell you any of that. But no doubt, each person, man, woman, and kid, they have a motivation. If I were to stop the car and get out of the car and say, why are you running today? Each of them are going to have a different goal. Some might have similar goals, but they each have an intended purpose. May your motivation create for you intended purpose. Let's get motivated. We're going to take a pause, and we'll be right back with Trisha's Treasures to see what she has to say for both Monday and Tuesday. We'll be right back. We're back, and thank you for joining us. Our 800 line is open, 1-888-721-9260. Don't forget that we are still accepting donations, art supplies for the Expressions Through Art program. If you want more information, please text or call, and you can send it right to our office wherever you're living. The more workspace and workshops we have like that, the more that it's going to benefit anyone who wants to express transformation. Trish, with Trish's Treasures.
So I was over here drawing. I was drawing for the layers, and when I thought about layers, I thought of a doll. You know how dolls, they have their own accessories. It comes in the box, right? And then they just have their own accessories for their moods and their emotions for that day. Whether you have a doctor doll, you got her you can give her a nurse outfit, a doctor's outfit. If you got a This sounds like Barbies. That's what they do. Yeah, Barbie dolls, they do the same thing. And I was drawing a doll, me. Okay, I was drawing that, and I called my doll Trish Daily Doll, meaning how I'm feeling every day. I have different feelings per day. I'm gonna show you guys. Um, I'm going to show you guys real quick about my doll. So I drew the doll. It's in the box, and if I'm feeling sad, you can give the doll an umbrella or a raincoat, because that matches the sad aesthetic in outfits. Happy, I gave it a little outfit, a yellow shirt, a yellow skirt. For angry, I gave it red boots, because for me anger is red. For calm or cooling down, I gave it ice cream. some some lemon ice cream and key lime at the bottom, and some a mixture of mango and orange popsicle right there. And for loving, I got a heart balloon. And for caring, I got a garden. I created I created a garden, and it has, grass, a grass plant, and a pot of flowers. So that's how I created my doll and my layers of me and knowing how it looks. So just doing that, it reminds me to remember to stay grounded and reflective of who I am, spiritually, and also mentally, and also physically, because getting in shape is part of layering as well. It's part of taking care of yourself, because when you cut an apple, apples have layers. We talked about the core on this podcast. So, the core of you. When you cut an apple, you can tell how nurtured it is and how well furnished the apple is by feeling it. First, you can tell by the skin. The skin is nice and red, or I love green apples. The green apples are good to me. I love those. I can tell how good the apple is by looking at the skin. If the skin is nice, doesn't have any dark spots on it, I'm like, oh, the apple is a-okay. But sometimes you don't see that. When you cut the apple, you see a hidden brown spot somewhere. And you're like, oh, I thought this apple was good. I thought this apple was ripe and able for me to eat. And sometimes we cut that part off to dismiss that possibly when you bite through the apple even more, there's more spots that you're missing. So I hope you guys take time to reflect and think about the parts of you that you're missing out on feeling, your emotions that you're dismissing, putting at the bottom of the layers. And remember that self-care is important when you are living every day, dealing with your daily selves, dealing with your daily machines, meaning your daily lives, your daily um persona that you are in. So I hope you guys create your own, draw out your own. It's not mandatory, but you can do your own thing, make your own machine, make your own drawing of how your layers look, or what toy you would like to do, or what machine you would like to use that symbolizes your emotions and your feelings.
Love that. Thank you so much. You want more of Trisha's treasures? Of course, be our guest and go to our Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast on YouTube. You can hear more of her. And if you like it, give her some ideas or things that you've done. It's important that you build stamina. Be the person that is going to support change. Support change of transformation for yourself as you build momentum to motivate yourself by reaching your goals to make a better you. Better than you were yesterday. And with all this layer talk, have you discovered something about you, yourself, and you? Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Trish. Each morning before we go, I'm always telling Trish, I'm on my way. I'm doing this for real. And I tell you this morning, that's why we don't have the sound, but you know who we are. We're Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. I'm Nisi Robinson, and my co-host is Trish Scott. And we just want to say a huge thank you around the world. We are giving you lots of hugs and attention. If you ever have any questions, it's your time to be able to, on YouTube, put questions in the comment. It's your time when you call our 1-888-7. What's our number, Trish?
It's 1-888-721-9260.
I'm always forgetting. Anyways, that number can be text as well. Thank you for all the newcomers. We love talking to you guys, and we just want to be stronger and better. And remember, we're really trying to have you guys help us. Any help for the expressions through art, material, whatever you'd like to donate, the more the merrier. And we use it for our workshops. There'll be more workshops. We have our other workshop that's men and their emotions. In fact, I was talking to a gentleman about it yesterday at the doctor's office. So if you have a brother, father, uncle, son, these classes are based on donations. And I just want you guys to know that the Healing Center is available, whether you be or east of us. We are able to connect with you via video. Thank you for joining us. Trish, thank you so much for putting up with me and all of my lateness and difficulties with the internet at times. Thank you so much. And we wish you all a happy transformation, change of your life, change of your direction. If that's what you're hoping for, only you can master that, as well as being motivated to do something other than you. As you are one, and as you are trying to shift your life and whatever is going on, we hope that you are motivated to do something good and great, and most of all to benefit and help yourself. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.